Everybody, welcome to this episode of Communicate. And with this episode, we have Sierra Levesque, and this is her second time coming on IG Live to chat. And the thing about Sierra is that she is a full-time gigging musician. She's also performed alongside yours truly in Syracuse, New York, and Nancy Wilson. That's just one of the folk that she performed with. Goodness, girl, I love your hair.
Thank you. This is my new era, and I feel like I'm channeling Avril Lavigne / Frankie Stein from Monster High.
Yes, that you definitely.
Yeah, this is the new look, so I'm very excited about it.
Yes, it definitely gives me that vibe. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
you're definitely rocking it.
Thank you so much. This is what I was imagining for myself more, like, you know when you see yourself in your mind and it's not matching what you see in real life? Now it is, so now I'm happy.
It definitely suits you. It takes like a lot of guts to go silver because I feel like, you know, it's definitely a
And there's
move, a risky move to take
different
sometimes,
shades.
but you're pulling it off. You're pulling it off.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my choices before ginger, but it definitely would not have looked as good on me. No, it definitely would have aged me, but you definitely have the Monster High thing going on. But absolutely, well, welcoming you in. I hope you have been absolutely wonderful since I saw you. It has been just a little bit.
Yes, I know.
Because like I was saying,
I feel like it's been not that long, but I guess it has now.
Yes, because you were on your tour, which we are going to talk about a little bit because you had an amazing 2023, but even more going on in 2024. So speaking of 2023 and your tour, what are some creative endeavors that you had this past year that you embarked on that you would like to kind of discuss, just to kind of jump into it a little bit?
Yeah, well, the first thing was I released my debut song, Get Off My Stage, on all platforms. That was a really big step.
So good.
Thank you, and that was so great. So that was the first one. And then I also embarked on a little mini tour, which was very fun. I got to go to many different cities, got to see you, got to play at some great venues. So that was also very fun. And then the third thing I did was I released a Christmas song, which was not something I would have ever imagined I'd do. And actually the local radio station asked me to because I guess they were looking for more Christmas music because I guess over the years it just repeats over and over. And I was like, sure. So I chose to do a cover of Run Rudolph Run, and that actually went better than I thought too. So I did a lot of great things, but those are my 3 fun highlights, I would say.
That is so awesome. I was definitely going to touch on your Christmas song because that was such a smart move. And it's definitely like if Avril Lavigne, maybe like a decade or so ago, released Christmas music. But of course, with this, you have that Sierra originality, which is epic. So of course, if you haven't heard her Christmas song, definitely go check it out. In my opinion, Christmas can be celebrated all winter long.
Yes.
So whatever, time isn't real. You guys do your thing. Definitely stream her Christmas song there. So speaking of like touring and recording, all of that snazzy stuff, what are some upcoming projects that you would like to touch on for 2024 that's really exciting?
Yes, I'm very, very excited because on February 2nd, so 02/02/24, just love that date, I'm releasing my second original song, which is called Wrong About You. It's definitely a departure from Get Off My Stage, really wanted to showcase a new side of me musically. It's based on piano, has some acoustic guitar, and it's actually just a bit more of a ballad. So really departing from what I did before and just trying to show some versatility. So yeah, Wrong About You is coming out on February 2nd, and just very excited for that, and more music, I would say mid-year as well, so stay tuned.
Dang, I'm so stoked for that. So it's going to be more of a contemporary-ish ballad from what I hear.
Yes, for sure. It's definitely, yeah, it shows again a new side, and just wanted to show that I'm not all about electric and upbeat, which I do have a lot of songs like that, but I really wanted to show some vulnerability as well. So I'm looking forward to everyone hearing it.
Right, because you're so versatile, and that's one of the things that I wanted to touch on, is that we live in a society where I'm definitely not saying that everybody has this syndrome per se, but or syndrome. You know, you have to be this or that. Like rocky or contemporary, stuff like that, maybe guitar or vocal. but with you, you have so many different sides to you, which I feel that you can bring to the stage, literally, and showcase. So that's awesome that you're dabbling. And I did see that you also posted a Lana Del Rey cover, which is also a bit different than what you previously have done. So I think that's awesome that you're branching out and showing people what else that you're capable of, because you're definitely capable of so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
So that's, cheers to that. Yes.
Love Lana. And yeah, this song that I'm doing actually has a lot of influence from Lana as well. So stay tuned. I just can't wait for everyone to hear it on February 2nd. You can actually, you can pre-save it now on Spotify. So yeah, the link is in my bio or on my recent posts. You can pre-save it, and yeah, I'd really appreciate that.
Awesome. Definitely pre-save it, everybody. And what I'll do is I'll also put that info in the caption as well.
Thank you.
So that people can be reminded. So speaking of your original work, it is a world full of fellow creatives. So just like, you know, off the top of your head, who are the first 3 creatives that come to mind that are inspiring your original sound at the current time?
I would say number 1 has always been Avril Lavigne, and again, from the hair, this is kind of me channeling like 2004 era of her, so she's definitely an inspiration, number 1. I also really love Ghost. They're my favorite band, and anyone who follows me
I remember that from last time.
Probably knows that, yeah. So a lot of their music, especially the heavier stuff, really inspires me on the riffs that I write. And I would say the third act to really inspire me right now would probably be the Pretty Reckless. I really love their versatility and Taylor Momsen's voice, you know, just if I could be a blend of all 3 of those bands or acts in one, it would be really cool. So right now, those are my top 3.
Awesome. You're definitely a very, very, very loyal fan. That's awesome, because I think it was last year that I interviewed you as well. 2 of those were in your top 3 for last year too. Yep. So that's awesome that, you know, though you're showcasing different sides of yourself, you're still Sierra. You know, people can still expect a little bit of the same sound from you, so that it's not straying like super, super, super different. You know, you still have all of those roots. You know, you have those roots and that foundation of what inspires you, which is super important. For sure. So this is going to tie into our next question here. Let's take a minute to just like manifest a little bit. Who do you want to collaborate with this year? Who do you want to kind of shout out and say, yo, I would be really interested in laying down a track or a show with you?
Yeah, it's so hard because there's so many people.
I know.
I know, there's just so many. Sure. I would say right now my manifesting would be something along the lines of Ghost, so anything related to them. If you hear anything about that this year would be awesome. But also really loving Plush right now, the all-girl band.
Yes.
Plush. So I hear
Bella Paran, Mariah, yes.
Ashley, Faith. So yeah, they're really cool. It would be great to get to open for them sometime. Or even Avril Lavigne. I know she's not doing as much touring, but I would say this year just manifesting a lot of names. But I would say Ghost and Avril are the main of my year this year. So we'll see. I believe in manifesting, and it's worked for me so far. So hopefully it keeps on going.
I think it will. I think it will.
There we go. Sorry, I think my thing got cut off 1 second.
Yeah. You're all good. You are still here. People are still tuning in, so everything's all clear. But yes, that would be absolutely excellent to see you do a show with both of those acts.
It would be. It would be awesome.
Maybe even like a bit of a double manifestation here. Like all 3 of you could be on the lineup.
That would be very cool. It's so cool. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens this year. Every year at the beginning, I always like manifest something, and then something different ends up happening, but in a even cooler way. So it's almost like everything I manifest right now might not happen, but then something really cool that I never even thought of may. So we'll see.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, you know, even if you just expect positivity, you bound to get it, is the thing. And I see you always with a full list of shows. This young woman right here is a full-time gigging musician. Like I was saying earlier, she came on down to Syracuse from Canada, you know, all over the place. She was playing, making appearances. So, you know, just putting yourself out there can go such a long way. It really, really can.
I try my best. It's always fun, and always I'm doing new shows.
Absolutely. So I see you have your signature guitars behind you there, the ones that you're always showcasing. Yes. Are there any like new guitar brands that kind of caught your eye? That you're interested in, or is it mostly more or less the same?
Right now, it stays the same for the past year, I would say. At the beginning, when I started getting all these, I was just into any brand. Like, whatever had a cool pattern or cool look, I was like, yes, please. So I've definitely got a great collection now, and I really have been loving my Epiphone here. It's been in a lot of my recent posts. So Epiphone would always be so great to, I just continue using theirs. I have so much of theirs. And as well, Fender, my Acoustasonic. They just opened up the submissions for the Fender Next program of 2024, so we'll see about that. But yeah, I just really love so many brands. It's hard to pick one. I would say my top three at the moment are definitely Fender, Epiphone, and then ESP. ESP has so many really cool, like, limited edition ones with cool patterns. They've got, here, let me see, got this cool Ouija board
Oh
over
my goodness, yeah,
here.
that's
Got
quite a
the
sick
purple
collection right there.
one. Yeah, so I mean, it's hard to choose, but I just love guitars with cool designs, colors. That's my thing.
Yeah, you like, man, you just have such good taste because like right off the bat there, Epiphone and Fender, you know, those
It just
two
like,
are it right there.
I
Really,
know.
in my opinion, you can't get much better than that because we are both a little bit petite too, and I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but the Epiphones I noticed have a bit of thinner necks as
Yeah.
well, and
Yeah.
that allows for some nice, you know,
Yes.
around the neck, which is really really fun. Maybe it'd even be cool to get like a silver guitar with
I
like
know.
there. I
Yeah.
know you have some silver mixed in there with your guitar collection, but maybe like just based entirely off the hair would be cool.
It would be very cool. Yeah, like in person too. I feel like the hair keeps changing no matter what the lighting is. I wish I could have a guitar like that where you see it in like one light and it's a different version and then a different lighting and it's like slightly different. That would be a cool guitar idea
It would
where
be
it changes.
kind of like
Yeah.
a holographic. You can make it
Yes.
holographic
Yeah.
silver. That'd be really cool. That's awesome. So we do talk a lot about guitar gear that we love, you know, gear that we're more inclined to purchase and endorse, all of that. But, you know, what is some features on a guitar that you just would not want?
I would say one of
Or
the
like a
things,
string gauge, you know,
yeah,
anything like that.
right now, any string gauge above 10 for me right now is, especially on electric, not an acoustic, but electric is very difficult. I'm even leaning towards maybe even starting using 9s for most of my electrics because I find I've been using 10s for so long. I use Ernie Ball strings that the 10s are so great, but then when I use one with a lighter gauge, I remember how easy it is to bend on those, and I'm like, oh darn, might have to switch over soon. So anything right now for electric, I know people use 11s, even sometimes 12s, which is really crazy for electric. I probably wouldn't use
Yeah, it
that.
is.
Yeah, that's pretty difficult for me because again, small hands, a little bit harder to do those bends on heavier strings. But yeah, that and then I do love a good whammy bar in Floyd Rose, but not on every guitar. Just because sometimes the tuning or if you have to change the strings
You're
gets a
right.
little bit crazy. So
You're
yeah,
right.
Floyd Rose can be mixed opinions, but I would say not on every guitar.
Yeah. Pretty much every guitarist I've talked to at this point says at least a similar thing about
Yeah.
Floyd Roses. You know, it's like you love to have it, but you hate to have it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those things. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm right there with you with the string gauge too. It does seem a bit extreme to have like 12s on an electric,
I
but people
know.
like definitely go for it sometime. You know, it builds up the finger strength and whatnot. So let's talk about live shows. Are there any like fun gig stories that come to mind, like especially fun gig stories that are like, yes, I want to discuss this one, and perhaps uh, any other songs that you added to your set along the way that have stories behind them?
For sure, yeah. So fun stories. The most fun one so far was playing at the Whiskey A Go Go past April. In April 23, that was awesome. With I opened for LA Guns and Faster Pussycat, and LA Guns was so great because I got to join them on stage, and that was just like mind blowing because that's one of the venues where they started, so it was so awesome. So that's probably one of my favorite memories. Just hope to be back there soon. That's just a great stage. And so that was one of my most fun. And then I have been adding a lot of new original songs to my set recently. I've been doing some Berklee Online college courses, and in those, we write a lot. So I've been writing
Yes.
nonstop. I just added, I think, 2 or 3 new originals to my set. And just anytime I can do an original song, always love it. Just getting to see people's reaction and yeah, so I'm focusing on that right now, just trying to pump out as much original music as I can. And in the future, right now, looking forward to my show in March. I think that's going to be a fun one. I'm doing it on March 23rd, which is actually my birthday. So I'm very excited. I've never had a show on my birthday before. And it's going to be in Chicago at the Arcada Theater, opening for Art of Anarchy with Bumblefoot. So yeah, it's going to be a great show, and I'm sure that's going to be a fun one too.
Oh girl, I'm just so proud of you, you know, like every year you're doing something and you're always making sure that you level it up. But that's just you're extraordinary. You know, I mean
Thank you.
the fact that you go to I mean, because I've heard you live too in person and just, you know, it's almost it's even better than hearing you virtually. It's like it's you can just like feel it in your chest. This girl's voice, her range is pretty crazy, you know. She's got a pretty crazy range, but congrats on the Bumblefoot gig.
Thank you
And, you
very
know,
much.
especially the Berkeley stuff. I mean, you're already a musician, but now you're going to be a musician, you know,
Yeah,
going to Berkeley.
it's very
Absolutely.
fun. Well, thank you. And I always love seeing your posts. I see all the stuff you've been doing over the winter, especially the character thing too.
Dude,
Such a
yeah.
good job. Like, so good. Especially to help others and just to like bring joy to people's lives. I think you do that a lot. So I really appreciate that. Every time I see your posts, I just smile. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. I know I always see sometimes you're like the first one to support even some of the character stuff. Cause I do definitely get into it, like the Wednesday Addams thing. And yeah, like absolutely love performing arts, but I always love your support. And speaking more so about your songwriting, because this is about Miss Sierra and we love her. Are there any like methods that you would recommend to people who are maybe struggling with songwriting that you have learned through Berkeley that you would like to share, or just intuitively anything that you can recommend to fellow artists creatively?
Yes, the first thing is one of the main things I've learned through Berkeley so far is about a title. So if you hear any kind of title in your mind, or you're all you can have for a song so far is a title, and you're just trying to figure out what to do with it, how to build it up, you're stuck. The first thing that they actually taught me to do was take the title and figure out how many syllables are in each word. So if the title is, I'll just pick one that I did, Mr. Nothing. That's a song I wrote recently. Mr. Nothing. You focus on the syllables. And then it actually helps to figure out new lines. So, Mr. Nothing, always running, stuff like that. It may seem a little bit silly at first,
Mm-hmm.
but if you just focus on the title's shape and the rhythmic shape of the title, it can actually help you create full verses, chorus ideas, and that's really what they taught in my last course. So that's a great tip from Berkeley. And then personally, I've been finding that a lot of life experience has just helped me with writing. I mean, if there's times where, especially during COVID, I was sitting at home, not talking to many people, not doing much. I had a hard time because I wasn't really doing anything. My songs were about being lonely. But now that I've been able to get out a bit more, talk to people, try and be social, that's when the real songs happen for me. So, anytime that you may think, oh, like, I don't really want to go out tonight, or oh, I don't really want to see that person. Hey, no matter what happens, it might make for a cool song. So that's my own personal advice. I mean, heartbreak leads to the best ones, or breaking hearts. So I don't know, but anything like that really has led to cool ideas for sure. So life experience is a great thing.
Girl, right on for certain. And like your music is always going to grow with you and mature with you and your experiences. So any negative experience, y'all, you can just turn it right into a
A
song,
hundred
you
percent.
know, and then
Yep. Take all those feelings that you may not think anyone else cares about, and you'll find out that a lot of other people feel the same way. So that's a great piece of advice that I think helps me at least.
awesome. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in with Sierra. If we might take like a few questions from you guys right below, if you have any, we might take one or two. But in the meantime, I have one more question for you. And I think this is a great one because, you know, we've talked about so much that you're doing just in 20 minutes, just about. I mean, there's so much, literally so much. So for those of you that are just tuning in, one of my main premises of doing these interviews is showcasing various sides of these creators. You know, a guitarist might not just be a guitarist. You might not know that they're also very skilled at production and things like that. So in a world filled with or syndrome, how would you say that you are an and person? And how can you teach other people to be an and person as well? Like, for example, partaking in multiple hobbies and things like that.
Yeah, for me, I've been just doing any music related activity that I can since I was 7. So whether it be from music theater to music theater to working for the radio. I also work part-time for the radio.
Yay, that's so
I write
cool.
songs. Thank you. Yeah, I write
Yeah.
songs. I perform. I teach music to children. So really anything music related that I could get my hands on or try out, instead of saying, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. I just said, bring it on. And as many music related projects, they all end up helping each other in some way. So even if you may not think that certain thing will give you anything good, guess what? Somewhere down the road it does. I mean, me working for the radio, I was able to make connections, and my original songs have now been placed on 10 plus Canadian radio stations. So I had no idea that would lead to it, and I'm just so grateful for making that choice. And so many crazy things have happened to me like that over the past few years, where you make a choice, just want to add as much music into my life as possible, and then it leads to something else great down the road.
That was great. That was definitely a great explanation right there. But alongside the fact, I'm really proud of you for doing the radio stuff too, alongside teaching children music. That's so cool. Is that at like an elementary school, or do you host lessons privately, virtually?
Yeah, it's actually just here in my home studio where I'm talking to you from. I have 4 students right now, one on drums, one on piano, one singing, and one guitar.
I didn't even know that. See,
Yeah.
like, and I consider you to be a musical friend, because you've been on some shred collabs that I've helped organize with Bradley Hall for charity, etc. So you've definitely been on my radar for a few years now, but for some reason that must have slipped my mind that you teach, and now I know that you also host on radio, which is awesome. So now people also know, if they did not already, that you are a radio host, a teacher for children, and a musician. So that's pretty cool. She is an and person, everybody. Like most of us are. It's just that not a lot of people know, when one account focuses on maybe mostly music, you might not know that she's also a host. So there you go right there. So congrats on all of the original work. I'm definitely so proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'll catch up super soon, Catch up super soon.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me, and always love being back. Hope to perform alongside you very soon again, for sure.
Absolutely. You're always welcome here. As I say, you're always welcome here in the Central New York. Plenty of venues that would love you, for sure.
Thank you.
Cool. We'll say hi to Sierra, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye. Thank you.
Rock on, everybody.